I'd like to welcome everybody to the City Council meeting with our executive session, October 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Meeting is called to order. We will stand up and do the flag salute, the pledge of allegiance, please.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, to begin with, if you wish to speak during the public comment portion of this meeting, please complete a request to speak card and turn it into our city clerk prior to the beginning of this meeting. It is recommended that you seek resolution of a complaint through the appropriate city department by scheduling a meeting with a council member or city staff before bringing the matter to the city council. The time limit for presentations this evening will be no longer than 10 minutes to present. Let's see, roll call. We have only one. It's going to be councilperson Boardman. She is excused for today. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes, TSP Joint City County Workshop, August 26, 2025.
Move to approve the minutes, August 26, 2025, TSP Joint City County Workshop as presented.
I'll second.
Ooh, we got a tie race. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Minutes for council meeting, September 2nd, 2025.
Move to approve the minutes, September 2nd, 2025, regular city council meeting as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Financial report, August 2025.
Thank you. So in August, we had some three large payments come out that affected all the funds. As I mentioned in my report, we had the workers' comp insurance premium, IT services, and our liability insurance. So those are kind of, those are spread out through all of the funds. Okay. We also were able to purchase or pay for 3 of the new patrol vehicles. Those have to be ordered months and months and months ahead of time. So these were ordered a long time ago, finally came in. And so we paid for those. We also paid for the upfitting, which is a separate cost. Once we receive those, we got to send them. We had that also in August. So we're excited to finally get those in place, but we paid for them in August. And then most of the activity, the big activity has been in our reserve funds with all of our different projects, having the green space, South Main Street, the new, a lot of us refer to the loop road, but it's at southwest Front Street connecting over to Oregon Trail, which everybody has been using. And we get to see everybody using the roundabout now, learning how to use it. We had a couple of semis who still don't know how to use it, but what can you do there? And then some of our projects also hit all 3 reserves because it's not only replacing road, but we're also updating some of the water lines, some of the sewer lines. So that kind of hits all 3 of the reserves. And those are the most active ones right now, but we're very excited about all the projects.
Questions? Anybody have some questions or comments? Easy. All right, moving right along. Hey, we'll go to the public comment. We got some prearranged presentations. We'll start with Sam Boardman.
Elementary. We'd like to welcome.
You ready?
Hello, my name is Mynam Hansen, and I'm a student at a third grade student at Sam Boardman. The following activities that are happening at our school this month and first week of November will be having activities such as dress up day for the last week of October, observing Red Ribbon Week, parent teacher conferences will be held the last week of October. Our classroom harvest party will be in the afternoon of Thursday, October 30th. Next month, we will have our annual Veterans Day program on Thursday, November 6th at 10 o'clock. All branches of the military are encouraged to attend. Thank you.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
No, very good job. You get extra credit.
Maybe treasure
Make sure you
box.
tell your teacher, I imagine that's your teacher right there, right?
Reading teacher.
So you should tell your classroom teacher you should get extra credit.
I don't know.
What are you gonna say? No? But thank you, good job, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You bet.
You didn't prearrange.
For a couple of days, so.
Don't want me to talk?
Our next prearranged presentation will be by Jonathan Tallman.
My name is Jonathan Tallman, homeowner, lived here. Most of you guys pretty much know me. I sent you guys an email. I sent you basically an ending price of rental increases. But there are so many more dynamics. You guys just gave like, I think $50,000 last month to the missing middle housing fund, which is a great start, great start to funding it. But when it comes to answering questions or asking the right questions, I'm sorry, it's just missed. And then last month, you guys directly talked about that place over there at the Driftwood RV with basically 79 units going up to 129 units. And it's really important to understand where our workforce is. As you can see, we've only sold less than 100 units as far as houses. Now, houses are new construction because that is real growth. Other are bundled in. And if you do the $5,000 payment that the DPCA is doing, about half of those funds are actually recycled houses. They're not new construction houses. I know I brought it up to the mayor about just doing new construction to get it, okay, as far as new construction, because that's what we want to do is we want to see real growth as far as people building roots and building homes here in the Boardman community, because that's what I want. I want more people moving to Boardman. That's really what I want. The housing prices from 2019 to 22 have gone up roughly about 45%. Roughly right now, they've gone back down. I can show you with the dynamics of debt to income ratio and mortgages and how that works, because what we want is our biggest provider of jobs here in Boardman is Lamb Weston, and that's 1,500 people. Well, those people are competing with the transient workforce, and the transient workforce is basically Amazon data center jobs, construction jobs, electricians. Those people are paid up to $200 a day. And it's like a Super Bowl pricing, just like with the Roundup. They don't rent it for one day for the Roundup for a night. They make you lock in for a whole 5 to 7 days or even 2 weeks to rent during the Roundup time frame. That is what it's doing is it's bringing those locals, the people that would work at Lamb Weston and live here, have to pay that higher price that is competing with those people that Amazon gets during that short period time. And it makes sense because when you look at it, all those RV spots are basically taken up during this time period. And that's why we've seen, rent increases go from $400 to $500 a month to $700 to $900. And those are the types of things that we really have to go through and answer questions. I would love to go into the weeds and the details of how that dynamics change and how that is so important. Now, I'm sure you guys are aware because Hermiston just got $8 million from Amazon as a gift. Boardman's gonna get one too, okay? I don't know if you guys want to announce that yet, but it's going to happen. But I have asked for that, okay, information, and I have not received that information about that information. That is public information as a private citizen. If I ask directly for it, I need that information. That should not be hidden from me. And that's what's keeping these prices hidden on these things when it comes to the rent and why we are subsidizing it. We have to be honest about that. Okay, I'm sorry if that comes off critical. So our appreciation with the housing, because of this demand, we are now seeing a lot more people rent out rooms, rent out Airbnbs, renting out. I've even heard, I can't substantiate it without going to tax records, that Amazon or subsidies of Amazon's are buying houses and then renting out 4 or 5 houses. And if you look at it, if you drive here at night, especially in my community over there on Mount Hood, there are tons more people that are in cars. I had my property and I was renting it out, okay? And I had probably 25 people message me, I just want it for 3 or 4 months. I just want it for a short minute of time. And how many people can I fit into this house? Well, I mean, and I understand, they have to pay that price. But I don't believe that they're going to take care of my property, especially when you have 3 or 4 households living into it. They're not going to make an investment that's going to be a long term because they're on their way to the next. And these are the type of things that we have to go into when we give these tax breaks to certain entities that don't want to build into our community. Now, it looks good on paper, okay, with some of the investments, but it's not long term. Amazon has taken $70 million out of the county, and we've got to be getting that back, okay, if not more, to make this investment of what we're doing. And I know if we were to look at the numbers, okay, it would make perfect sense. And I just get so frustrated because I can't get a conversation about the real truth of what it's doing. And it causes for a short period of people to live in a confined space. If you go out there to that driftwood, those people are 5 feet away from each other. Who wants to live with a neighbor 5 feet? Who wants to have a neighbor that if they're playing their music loud, that it's blaring and they can hear the conversations through the houses? I have neighbors, okay? One time they played it really loud at 11 o'clock at night. Now, thank God I have a good relationship with my neighbors. They say, you know what, it was just a party, we'll take care of it. But imagine that if you're a transient workforce, they don't care. They're going to be gone in 2 weeks or 2 days or whatever. These are the things that we have to start thinking about long term that really do make sense. And, you know, I could really go into more dynamics of this, but I really wish at this middle housing fund, we would talk about these type of things instead of glossing over and just, oh, well, we're getting a lot of growth. And no, talk about what is growth? What is the real growth? Where is it coming from? These are transient. I want people that want to move here. I want people that want to live here, that bring into the community, that are staples to the community. And I really feel like if we don't really cater to that, and I don't know exactly how to do that. I'm asking for you guys. This is what you guys are up here for. But when we go to the Middle Missing Housing Fund, I've sent emails to Nathan Wildfire. I haven't even got a response back. Okay. That to me is not transparent in our process. What do you mean? Please tell me what you're talking about. Tell me what I'm not understanding. I know, Richard Rockwell, you are a very intelligent person and you really get this. When I was talking about the the roadway over there, you got it. You get it instantly, okay? You want those 14 businesses not to suffer and die on a vine, because they can. We have to think about this for a long term, not just in 5 to 10 to 15 years, but for 20 to 30. And we've got to make sure that we're building correctly. They're not just planning things through. And I can go into more dynamics, and I'm going to be speaking at the planning commission and other things, but we have to really plan ahead and not gloss over things that are so important. And I promise you, I want exactly what you want. I want Boardman to be successful, but we've got to be honest about what we're doing and how we're doing it, especially when it comes to the non-disclosure agreements. I really want to see what it is as far as these disclosure agreements, okay? Now, if you guys want to pay to have me go away, let's see an offer. An offer is a purchase and sale agreement. It isn't, hey, I'd like to do this, okay? That isn't an offer, all right? And I really get frustrated. And I hope that you guys don't take any more land through eminent domain through your process. That is outright theft. And I can show you, when we did this, we just had a brownout or a blackout. Boardman was all black, all right? No electricity. The 230 kilovolt line that runs through my property, that was fine. I have it on paper, and I'm going to show it to you on the TSP draft, okay, that I'm going to submit to the DLCD. You guys said that power line was for residential growth. It isn't for residential growth. It doesn't go down and stair step. It would cost you millions of dollars to stair step it. It was and only for Amazon. That was wrong, and you guys know it. And that is why we have $90 million in the bank today, okay, or a budget, 40 million approximately. We have to be honest about where this is coming, and we're still being shorted even though we have $40 million in the bank. I would love to go in the weeds with you and show you that. And it's very important. So the longevity of business of Boardman does not die out 20 years, because when this gold rush is over, it's going to really hurt us. I would love for all your kids and communities still to live here in Boardman. But if we don't treat this right with these data centers, I challenge you to go on to see what else they're doing. We are in the perfect spot because we have the water that we can see how much they're taking from the water. All the other places they take from the aquifer. That really makes a huge difference as far as how it affects us. And that's just being honest about it. But we have to put guardrails. We have to do it right. I have asked you guys about the 1.865 billion gallons of water and how much money we're missing from there. I haven't heard anything back on that. I would love to have a conversation of wow, we're missing out on this much money. But Jonathan, show me something else over here where we're getting it back. I haven't got anything. I would love to see those numbers. But when I try to have a conversation, a ping pong conversation, and I know I play rough, I like you, Mr. Kiefer, because we can go at it, okay? We have our disagreements, but I like it when we actually get real answers. In the Bible, it says iron sharpens iron. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. That's how you get the best answer. And we've seen it, how we get the best answer from it. Please, let's make Boardman successful. Let's go over these options and be honest about these answers. I really value ping-ponging back real answers and not just glossing over things, because this TSP draft on this UGB boundary is going to be big, okay? And I welcome to work with it, but I still haven't gotten my numbers that I've asked for non-disclosures on. And I've asked on the open meeting side, and I've asked on the public records request side. And I think that's sad. I think that's real sad, because right here, all these things that you guys say that we're doing, we're not doing. We're flat out not doing it. And I've asked over and over and over. Thank you so much for listening. I think you guys were very attentive. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. John.
I'm not asking a question, but I would encourage you to attend the meetings for the middle housing.
I've watched them. So I'm glad you said that, because when I've asked questions, even though Brandon has said I can ask questions, and then I get up and Carla says, no, you can't ask questions. So
Don't know about that, but I would just encourage you to.
But do you see what I'm saying? When I say, okay, I'll be there, and then I have some questions, oh, no, you can't talk. We don't want you to talk. Okay. And it's like, I want to be there. I really do. But when I go there and I start asking questions that are a little controversial or, show in the
I don't know
weeds-
how their agenda is, but
Well,
I would definitely attend their meeting.
I'm saying though, what they asked me to be there, and I've got an email from Brandon saying, oh, well, you can't speak at it. Well, what's the point? I can just watch online and not say anything. And again, no disrespect there, Mr. Kiefer.
I'm just saying that would be where I would start with.
But you see what I'm saying though, is when I watch it online, it's the same thing as just sitting there and doing nothing. If I watch online, I can watch on my own time. If I go to the meeting, I want to ask questions and be involved. They don't want me speaking or asking to
Speak to that.
But do you see what I'm saying though? How important that is?
I can't.
Speak to that. So what I'm just saying here, what do you think that's transparent? I think we're gonna, we're not gonna.
Just think about that, just think about.
Oh, I
what
get
said.
that, Mr. Coleman. I'm just
Okay.
letting you know, follow if you're following the agenda, that's the best I can do.
Well, but when you, but that's when people, I ask, like what you said, and then I go there, then if it doesn't do any good, I might as well just watch online. And I just.
Sorry, I feel your frustration. I'm sorry that you feel.
See, we talk about transparency all the time up here, but then when I show that transparency back and ping pong you back, this is that ping pong I'm talking about. People just like, oh, well, you could go to the meeting. Yeah, I go to the meeting, but if I can't speak, what does it?
They don't have a public comment.
That's not what my question was. You should go into it.
Do they have a public comment?
No, well, I'm being told that, yes, they do.
Then you get the public comment.
But then when I go to the meeting, they say, no, you can't.
Does the agenda say public comment?
I allowed the procedure and you should be able.
I have an email from Brandon that says, oh, wait a second, and I'll just make sure it's.
I'm just saying.
Follow the agenda and that will allow. That's the best I can do.
But Mr. Kibbe, this is it that I'm talking.
I'm a puppet dead Nazi officer.
It's not-
Remember my cousin always telling me about Alice? She lives in New York City, but she works with this girl Christina pool next.
Trying to give you help there on that. And
But that helped.
I will talk to Mr. Hammond about the agenda.
Well, please ask him for that email that I'm referring to.
I will ask him about the agenda.
About his photos.
Absolutely.
I think he really wants to go with her. Look at all those dead bodies.
Move on to action items ordinance
As wolves.
7-2025, amending Boardman Development Code, adding shipping container standards.
So what this is this is the second reading. So you guys have passed this with the first reading. This is the second reading.
Before we go, do you know why that microphone was cutting out?
I have no idea. I'm wondering if batteries are dying.
That was kind of annoying, especially for the presenter, I would think. It would be annoying for me. Okay,
Have a note to check on it.
thank you.
I move to approve the reading by title only of ordinance 7-2025, amending the Boardman Development Code, adding shipping container standards.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, excuse me?
I guess I thought that the residence was, when you read the title, the titles doesn't say anything about residence. So you look down in the body and it's like a one word in there. And since people have wanted to know about this, I guess I was surprised that residence wasn't included somewhere for any bigger letters or something. But other than that, that's because if you on our agenda and you go down and read in these chapters, you will find there's a lot of section for residential in, I don't know, one of those chapters. I've left my paperwork at home, so I can't mark on here. So there was plenty there to discuss about what you can do with a container in a residential area. It just was going to be harder to look up, I thought.
Oh,
Chapter 2.1, residential districts, exhibit B, adopted 9/22/25. Or 9/2/2025. That's what you're referring to.
Yes, and the wording on the actual ordinance. You know, if you look at the actual ordinance wording, it says adding definition and standards. Okay, an ordinance to amend the Boardman Development Code, adding definitions and standards for shipping containers to be used in storage in all use zones and occupiable space in commercial and industrial use zones. So it doesn't say anything about residential there. The loophole is to be issued for storage in all use zones. So if you are familiar enough with the all term, that all means residential, commercial, and industrial, then you're going to be okay with that. But then when you go down into the whereases, it mentions residential.
So can you clarify what's, I guess I'm struggling. What's your concern? What is bugging? I guess, so just between me and you, what's bugging you? Because I can't figure out what's bugging you.
Well, we've had people come here and they live in a residential area and they want to use a container for a storage.
Correct.
And I'm saying that it's really difficult in this ordinance to know this ordinance has anything to do with those shipping containers in the residential area.
Now I'm following where you're going.
Because it says commercial and industrial. So, you know, because all is the key word in that whole thing there. So that you would know that it's a residential is included in that.
So you're saying
Because it doesn't actually say residential.
Yeah.
That could be an issue, it says commercial industrial, but it doesn't mention residential,
Yeah.
it just says all.
And if I'm a citizen, I'm back to this, if I'm a citizen and I'm sitting around looking stuff up and I wanted to do it in a residential area, then, and I probably, if I would go down to all these other things, you know, like pages of that, there's a big section, I agree, for residential and these. It's what you can do with a container in your community. So anyway.
Any other discussion? Did you have something you wanted to ask?
I wanted to- you ask about a discussion, and that's my discussion, is that it just seemed like that I might have added one more word. But we're down to the second reading. So.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, having hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now it's me.
Yes.
Ordinance 7-2025, amending the Boardman Development Code, adding shipping container standards.
Where's in 3?
I move to adopt ordinance 7-2025, amending the Boardman Development Code, adding shipping container standards.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and second. We have any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance 9-2025, amending the Boardman Municipal Code, Title 5 Business Regulations.
Okay, so first reading. Correct, Mayor Kiefer, first reading?
First reading.
Perfect, thank you. So I don't know how long we've discussed this, the business license. It's been a really long time. This update is gathering all the information. We have gone to the extreme of, hey, we're gonna go and do a business license for everyone. We have pared it down, and it really is, the focus is on transient merchants. So within this ordinance, that is the focus, okay? Again, this has been a long discussion, and that's it. That's all I got.
I move to approve the reading by title only of ordinance 9-2025, amending the Boardman Municipal Code, Title 5 Business Regulations.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion about this?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, just just.
Yes, we're
reading?
just doing the reading it because we're not gonna adopt because we have to have everybody here to adopt.
Are you going to read it?
I think you're gonna.
Oh, do I still
Yeah,
read
you're
it?
still gonna read it.
Oh,
We're just
sorry.
not gonna adopt it.
Thank you. Ordinance 9-2025, amending the Boardman Municipal Code Title V Business Regulations.
So we'll put that on our agenda for next month, and if we have a full,
All 7 of us, we will to adopt it. Correct?
Second, if we do it in 2 readings, we do not have to have.
oh, okay, we have to have, in one reading, we have to have also a copy of that, okay.
So we will put it on agenda for next month. Action items, resolution 24-2025 park naming.
Okay, so again, the park namings were presented to the council. You had some adjustments. Those adjustments have been made. And here is the presentation. This was a discussion that the park committee just recently had. I felt it was a good discussion, and we're seeking for your approval for the parks.
I move to approve resolution 24-2025, a resolution naming parks.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. It's time for discussion. I just can't stand park blocks. I just can't. I think it's inappropriate. If I offend somebody, it offends somebody. That's Mayor Kiefer's opinion. I think the others, the one I actually thought would be the issue isn't the issue.
So you don't like the names Power Trail Park and Parque Cultura?
We don't have park blocks.
As I said, park blocks is park blocks.
That's just probably into his space. City Hall Park, but the
name will be Power Trail Park.
Oh, I didn't read it
Parque
right.
Cultura.
I'm sorry.
It just says the city of Boardman adopts the following park names, and I think that's why you're confusion. There wasn't like a heading of area.
So the right side is the new parks.
We use, yes, you have to go to the memorandum to see what park names are.
Where they go.
I'm just looking at, I'm looking at the resolution.
Sorry, it's in this memorandum. So City Hall Park would be Tatone Park, Hillview
that's-
Park
yeah.
is Sunset,
That's what it says here.
and then the
was-
park lot, yeah, sorry.
I was just reading the wrong side.
And then River Ridge will have 3 new names, 3 new parks in River Ridge.
Is there any other discussion? Anybody else?
Curious here. These Parque Los Niños I'm saying them so wrong.
Bajado,
All these Spanish names. On the park sign, are they gonna say it in English under it as well?
I would say that decision has not been made. But I think it makes sense for the translation to be there.
I asked you the first time why are we naming them, you said, if we call 911, they need to know where to go. If I'm at that park and I sit there and try and say that, don't think it's gonna work very well. So, I was just curious if translation is gonna be there, so. That was my question.
So if we wanted translation on there, how would we do that? I mean, as far as the resolution goes. Do we just say approve it with the condition that translation, if needed, would be on there, if that was what the council chose?
So soon you're gonna be adopting a Parks Master Plan, and the Parks Master Plan has quite a bit in it about how, is it not on?
No, I turn it on.
You're asking for me to do something technical?
Sorry.
So the Parks Master Plan kind of goes into a lot of that detail about how to, the maintenance that will be needed, a lot of the cost accounting information. I think you're going to find a lot of good information in that Parks Master Plan when it finally lands in front of you.
And it does talk about, I can't remember what chapter it's in, but it does have some conversation in that Parks Master Plan about how we need to have better signage for our parks. I don't recall if it specifically calls out translation. I can certainly take that back. We're still in draft mode. We can incorporate that into the Parks Master Plan so that that happens. But I can tell you a lot of the conversations with the consultant and kind of internally too about the need to address and sign and do all of that. We're talking about the fact that when we have a park, we need a sign. It needs to say, this is Paul's Park, you know, with the address, with the amenities, and so people can know where they're at and what they're doing.
I guess the reason I'm thinking is, just the most recent trip to Canada, they had Indian language. And underneath, they had what it meant in English. And that's not the only place, because you can go in other places that have that. And I think it's a valid. I think it's valid. So as far as I heard, that answer would be no. Because it's not.
I don't
Right,
think,
but that's not a yes or no.
I don't think the answer is no. I think the answer is we need to incorporate it in the Parks Master Plan, and we have the ability to do that because it's not ready for adoption yet. It's still in draft form. So we can go back, based on this discussion, we can go back to the Parks Master Plan and make sure that we incorporate something in there when we talk about how we need to think about naming parks and signing parks, that we need to make sure that the Parks Master Plan is incredibly responsive to the fact that we are a minority majority community and acknowledging the language concerns. So
I guess my other question would be, is it unacceptable to have translation? I mean, I just don't want to have an opinion, but I would like to also know if it's unacceptable to have the translation. Are we asking too much?
Didn't we all learn Sacagawea? Or however you say it?
Sacagawea.
See, but that is my point, that we didn't change it and we didn't put something else underneath it. We learned to say that name. And
they do have a park named after her.
well, yes, but I guess my point, you know what my point is.
Sacagawea was her name.
She went down in history as.
Okay, let's think of Temescala. See, okay, I'm not good at speaking that, but the point is, it doesn't say something underneath it. It says, this is, yeah.
I will say that over my travels in Montana this year, they had a lot of Native American terms for rivers, roads, landmarks, and for you know, just to be a good neighbor, they put it in English too, so we'd know where we were. I think that the inverse is true for Ethan. I think that if I was Hispanic and I only spoke Spanish, and you ask me where I am, I'm not going to be able to say Tatone Park. I'm going to need something else, but there's no translation for Tatone. It just is Tatone. So I don't know for sure, but I think that if it lends itself to translation, it's not going to harm a soul to put it in the other language that's dominant in Boardman.
Sorry.
And I agree with you. If it was someone's name, if any of these parks were named for somebody who was Hispanic, I don't think we should change the name. Probably not. But I think if it's not someone's name, if we're say Meadowlark Park, there's no one named Meadowlark. So Meadowlark can be translated. And Tahoro, I think, Azul Park is a blue something.
Bluebird Park.
Bluebird, there you go. So see, that's easy. Nobody's gonna be offended that I can't say it.
Any other discussion?
I guess the only thing is that there is a little bit of inconsistency where you do name some, you say Pájaro Azul Park, instead of Parque, and then the other ones it's.
Oh.
Parque Los Niños, like.
Do it at both, you know,
having it then and having, because you're mixing it up.
in the name itself. I'm more interested in what's actually gonna go in the park than the name.
And that's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Do I dare? You may dare.
Just throwing this out there, I really like Sunset Park, the name of Sunset Park, when it was recommended in the
Parks Master Plan.
I thought that was a really great name, so I'm glad it got brought up there.
I actually like this discussion just because that just shows how important it is. It's the naming of the park. A lot of people are like, why are we spending 15 minutes on naming of a park? I want to try to get it right. You know, that's, and so we got six people up here trying to figure out how do we do the right thing? And being the devil's advocate or whatever we want to call it, how do we make sure that we are respectful to all in the best way that we can? So that's all I'm trying to get at. So is there any other discussion? And if it's in the Parks Master Plan, I mean, that's something we vote on too, right? So we'll do a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about appointing CREZ 2 members.
Currently, the appointed for CREZ 2 is Karen Pettigrew, Paul Kiefer, and alternate Heather Baumgartner.
I'm gonna go out and say some things here. I personally think the mayor needs to be on this. As being a person who, especially for for CREZ 2, I've been the chair since 2020. There is a growing curve. And I think that the person who can be the most outspoken is the mayor who speaks for the city. Karen Pettigrew is on the chair, or not the chair, but on the committee. She's been on it since CREZ was developed, and probably even before she was, yeah, when was it? 1920?
Just about.
No, but when it was originally developed. And so it's hard to, in my opinion, to change the voting members. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's hard because there is a curve that is learned. And if you have new people who are consistently being replaced, it's a new curve to learn.
Maybe the new curve should be
choosing a new alternative, or we choose all three new members in the CREZ 3, so that you can learn how it happens, how the process goes. But it is the council's decision on who the members are going to be. So with that being said, I think it's important that we have a discussion on who the members on the CREZ 2 board are, because that is the board that the city is a sponsoring entity, or affected. We are affected on CREZ 2.
I think experience matters when you're talking about CREZ 2 or even CREZ 3. But I also think it's not wrong to have new blood in there either. Because at some point, somebody new has to learn.
I agree with Richard. I just didn't know how to say it. There we go.
That's just my opinion. It doesn't mean that I think anybody's doing a bad job. I think having new blood on either one of those. You know, Chris too, you made your case that it's important that you feel the two people that were already on it are there, but maybe we should be open to Chris 3 members. I wouldn't be opposed to being on Chris 3 when we get to that point. I think the more we learn about Pres in general for all our counselors is important. So that when people ask about it, we know what we're talking about.
Out of curiosity, how often do we vote on CRES members? Or is it just when we decide that, hey, we might need somebody else?
It's usually once a year, but it doesn't have to be. It could be more than that.
We do look at it once a year.
We do. We do look at it once a year.
I don't think people can get experience if they don't get on appointed to the position.
So how many of you attend? I know you do.
Well, you asked the question.
No, I've got one.
So the question I would ask is, when are the CRES meetings?
Do we announce them publicly?
I feel like there's a lot of.
They are public.
They are public, but are they publicly announced
Yes.
for everybody to know about?
See,
I would say that I'm fairly informed.
Yes.
I've never heard when a CRES meeting is, ever. And it's been here for a long time. It's same thing, like I would say the same thing about school board members or school board meetings. At one point, they used to announce them, hey, this is it, but then it was, well, we didn't really want anybody showing up, so we just kind of stopped announcing them. And that's been a thing for years. That's all I'm saying. If CRES has been around that long, when do we have meetings?
You would have to go out. If you wanted to know when the meeting is, you'd have to go out and look.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I believe it is on the chamber announcement.
On the board.
Yeah. But you have to look for it.
back to the point about a calendar kept for the city of Boardman. Because we need to have a place where at least the city councilors can go look and see what the meetings are that are scheduled for that month. Not just city council and planning commission. You do what now?
So it's placed on our calendar. I was waiting for Amanda to see if we put CRES on there.
Don't usually get notification of the CRES meetings, so I do not put them on the calendar. So if I know about a meeting that our councils are part of,
It's on the calendar.
put it on there.
I thought I saw it. Yes, sir.
Briefly, I think to Councilor Rockwell's point, the reason that you may not have seen CRES meetings is that they have been, I think, very irregular. Am I correct in that? That is something that, as a side note, I think needs to change, but that's part of why it's really hard for the public to be engaged, is because they're not happening on a regular basis or scheduled.
Right.
So I agree with that.
CRES 2 is usually in December, doesn't always happen. It can be.
Goes all the way out to February.
Availability.
Very regular because there's so many members who have so many different positions, titles, and so they're scheduled through doodle polls. When are you available to meet?
And that's the tough thing.
But there are only a couple of meetings a year, so it wouldn't be impossible to get the word out a little better. For sure.
If you just Google Columbia River Enterprise Zones, it does take you.
If you just Google Columbia River Enterprise Zones, it does take you to the Morrow County website. And at the bottom of that one, it says meetings. Meeting information can be found in meeting calendar and agendas, and that's a link.
Thank you.
You have to be on that.
We'll put more stuff on our calendar. We'll make sure
I
that
think that's something
if it's
we
connected,
could work on.
and again, CREZ 2 is usually typically once a year in January. But it is typically just
It's
once a
typically
year.
one, I think we've met twice, 2 or 3 times this year. Just for what, and then, you know, there's some special times that we have to get together as far as the 5 million, but another disbursement. All right, so we'll move on to appointing. I am looking for nominations of people who would like to be on the CREZ.
Can I throw one thought out there beforehand?
You bet.
And this has nothing to do for me sitting in this position. I can care less either way. If we're doing it once a year and we do that once a year, the president of city council, it kind of makes sense as that's could become another job of the president of the city council. Do that once a year or once every 2 years, something like that. Just a thought process to throw it out there that it would be the mayor and
Next.
or the president.
I think that was looking for Heather to be on there last time.
Curious. Yeah, that would just, it's a thought, something to just discuss, talk about. But like I said, I can care less either way.
I kind of think that that might be a thing to think about. And as we are casting, is that something that we want to like start? If you are the mayor and the council president, that is your duty. Or does that mean that you're the alternate or whatever? I mean, do we want to, because we get to choose 3 out of 7. So how do we want to go about that? That is the discussion.
I wanted to bring that up. You can continue on with your nominations. I just wanted to throw that out there. You moved on a little quick, but
Well, I'd like to nominate Mayor Kiefer and Karen Pettigrew for CREZ 2 members. And I'd like to nominate Ethan Salata as the alternate for CREZ 2.
Do I have any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll vote on the 3 for the, as far as we need to probably identify an alternate.
That is
Oh, you said no. No. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. I just saw, I was writing down. Okay. So we have 3 nominations. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so there's CREZ 2.
Do we need to announce it? Action item.
Mr. Kiefer.
Mayor Kiefer, I heard a motion. Did I hear a second?
The second.
Oh, you didn't? I thought.
I heard a motion by
Oh, I was it.
Counselor Rockwell. I did not hear the second.
Correct.
Who would like to second?
oh, I'll second it.
Okay.
I thought it was a nomination. I didn't know it needed something.
Oh, I thought it, I
get a
thought,
motion then to nominate.
I thought I had a second, so that's why I went on. My bad. All right. Are we good for CREZ 2? Okay, I'm open for nominations for CREZ 3.
I'd like to throw my name in the hat for CREZ 3.
Can I just speak to this a minute?
You may.
CREZ 3 probably will have meetings because they are going to be. If a new company comes in and wants to have an enterprise zone, you will be part of that. CREZ 2, we are finished making new proposals. So your meetings will be down to, like you say, 1 or 2 a year probably, other than they invite us always to the CREZ 3 meetings because we're more, what's that word? Inclined or affected. Yeah, and so they always invite us and we always attend just to know.
The interesting thing about CREZ 3 is The only time the city of Boardman has a vote is when we are an affected. And if, we'll just leave it at that.
And
That
they
is the only
sit at the
time.
table. I mean, still.
Right, and so you don't have a say, you just listen, you get to watch the procedures, you get to listen to what's going on. Press 3 is going to be, as of right now, unless it changes, to a different way of thought. Enterprise zone for CREZ 3 is basically the county and the port. And they make all the policy because that's what they're affected. Doesn't mean that you will never have something, but you will at least be able to when they do.
Part of it, so.
And it'll be good to see the politics that go on with enterprise.
I move to nominate Richard, Karen, and
Mayor, Hebrew.
with the alternate being the prophet. And just my reasoning for it would be we've got more counselors need to be exposed, need to have the knowledge, and Ethan being in the other one, and Brenda being and Richard being in this one would assist greatly. Because although Karen and
Your keeper have done it.
we just don't know what the future will hold, and in the need that
You need
those
the
alternates, they would have that experience and we would have more to pull from.
Any other nominations?
Going along the same lines as what Christie just said there. Would nominate the mayor, myself, Richard, and Brenda as a alternative on that one. And it is getting them more experience in that.
So technically, we have
4 names in for the 3 spots.
There's 4 spots.
There's 4 spots for that one.
Yeah, but Brenda was nominated for the alternate. So what, if we can just do secret ballot, or do we just?
Can't have one.
Nice try, Cub Scout.
All right, so then I guess we're gonna do a roll call then. Or how do you wanna do it?
Well, the next one you could do Karen, Paul, Ethan, and Richard. If is.
Oh, so just do it in groups?
So.
I don't know.
So we got 2 groups of 4.
Got 3 groups.
You just nominate Karen, Paul, Ethan, and
No,
Oh, okay, sorry.
mine was a little different.
So the only difference would be Karen.
Yeah, Karen's in the. So we have Richard, Karen, Mayor, and Brenda as alternate. And the second one is the Mayor, Richard, Ethan, and Brenda. as alternate. We have 2.
Thank you.
We have 2. So
We just
do a vote on
each group, and the one that gets the most.
yays is the group that we go with. All right, so we'll go with the first one. So for Richard, Karen, the mayor, and Brenda as the alternate, we'll just do a roll call.
Counselor Cuevas?
Yes.
So you want the first one?
Yeah, we're voting on the first one.
I'm struggling to keep up over here.
Okay, so what's the second one? Who's on the second one?
The mayor, Richard, Ethan, and Brenda as the alternate.
The big difference is
Group 1 has Karen and Group 2 has Ethan.
So in that, the reason I'm saying myself is as the council president. So if you'd like to change out to council president instead of just Ethan, I don't know how that would work, cause I think it should just be there. So if next meeting or next year, whatever, it switched to Brenda, I think Brenda should fall in. I don't know if that's how that works. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm curious. That's okay. Just because we keep saying the mayor, so it would be mayor, council president. That's what I was trying to go with my point that I did here. So you want to keep it Ethan, that's perfectly fine. I just was throwing it out there as that's why. But that makes sense.
There really needs to be continuity on there. And you can't change. It could change, I guess, but. And maybe free is the place that you should learn how this works.
Well, I'm gonna go with my vote, even though I'm not out of order. Okay,
I'm sorry.
no, I'm gonna go with the second one, and this has no offense to Mrs. Pettigrew. I think CREZ 3, as of right now, is the training ground. I think that's a great spot for our new members to learn about CREZ and how it operates. So that's why I'm gonna vote for Mayor Kiefer, Richard Rockwell, Ethan Salata, and Brenda Prophet as the alternate. That's why I vote.
We're doing the vote for the first one right now.
So
Not-
your vote is no.
My vote is no on the first one.
Continue with the, maybe the roll call.
Yes. Even though that told you I was out of order.
Okay. I think I'm.
I'll have to make my vote again in the second, for the second.
Done a motion yet, so we're just getting everybody's vote on which option before we do a motion.
Right, so we're voting on the first one, which we do have a second.
So Counselor Pettigrew? Yes or no to option one?
Yes.
Counselor Prophet?
No.
Counselor Rockwell?
Yes.
Counselor Salata?
No.
Aye.
We have 6, right?
Mayor has to break the tie.
I already voted,
Oh, you're part of the tie.
part of the time.
Okay, so option two. Counselor Cuevas?
Sorry, can you just repeat who's in option 2?
Mayor Kiefer, Richard Rockwell, Ethan Salata, and Brenda Prophet as the,
Alternate.
yes. I was working on it.
I'm gonna say no.
Counselor Pettigrew?
No.
Counselor Prophet?
Yes.
Counselor Rockwell?
I'm gonna say yes.
Counselor Salata?
Yes.
Mayor Kiefer? Have I heard an official vote?
No. You have not heard an official vote.
My crying time.
Sorry, Karen, it is a yes. You will be with me on CREZ 2. As well as with Ethan. Yeah. All right, that's harder than I thought it'd be. I will go to the Housing Advisory Committee.
Mayor, we now need a motion
We did.
I move
No.
to appoint,
nominated.
I move to appoint Richard Rockwell, Ethan Salata, Paul Kiefer, with alternate Brenda Prophet as members to represent the city of Boardman on CREZ 3, for CREZ 3.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Housing Advisory Committee.
Okay, all this is you guys passed the motion last month. This just clarifies the language. We talked about it. This new motion is more specific. So we'd ask that you would use this language to pass.
All right, I move to rescind the previous motion in the September 2nd, 2025 meeting and move to approve Housing Advisory Committee to spend up to $50,000 out of the current Housing Initiative Fund to hire a consultant to develop and prepare a comprehensive real estate development master plan. With the intent, the Housing Advisory Committee will seek additional funding from external sources for any cost exceeding $50,000.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Housing Advisory Committee Moderate Income Revolving Loan Fund.
Okay. So again, thank you for that last. So what this is there is MERL. It is a state funded program that has $73 million, $75 million. And the missing middle has been asked to assist rural communities in getting this going. No one's using it. It's been around apparently for a while and no one's taken advantage of the funds. So Missing Middle is stepping in and saying, hey, we'll help you. And they want some cities to go along with them. They're asking us to be one of the first to participate. I think there's a couple other cities that are going to go.
40% for rural communities specifically.
So the request is asking for 5,000 to go and partner with other cities that are also paying to then get this process going that Missing Middle is going to assist. So the MERL fund is basically what we do for urban renewal, where you get a tax break and you freeze those taxes. We have built Main Street. That Main Street is going to pay us back. The city paid for it. The Central Urban Renewal is going to pay us back. This MERL fund, we get money from the state, they give it to us, and then the state pays us back.
So it works as a grant.
Yeah.
It works
but-
as a grant.
Correct.
The city has to apply for the money and they have to go through, the reason for the 5,000 is so that we can join a consortium of small cities to work through the process of how to administer the grant.
Yep.
And Missing Middle will help with that process and connect us with people. There's only one or two other cities in the whole state who've taken advantage of it so far. So it's in our best interests for this dollar figure to try to see if we can capture
Yep.
those dollars to help with that granting process.
Yeah, and again, it's not the city paying for any, other than we're paying 5,000, but when we get the grant, they're just giving us the money and then it comes out, we pay it back as we sell land or something like that, or we sell a house.
It
or-
has to be, yes, so we can establish parameters about what kind of housing. We can target to certain income brackets. We can ensure that the developer is using the same materials we want them to use, et cetera, et cetera. But we need someone to administer the grant. And so there's a bit of work involved in just supervising the developer, supervising the grant, and ensuring that the monies are being used and recouped correctly.
Okay.
So there's a,
I was gonna wait until discussion, but I'm gonna
oh,
bring it up.
sorry.
No, that's fine. My question is, we've given money to the Housing Committee already, right? 50,000?
Yes.
Has he spent any of that money?
No, I don't believe we've spent it,
Okay.
but I think it's
So
really earmarked.
I know that, but
Okay.
my question is, if we've given him $50,000, he's got $50,000 to spend. He can spend that, and if he needs that $5,000, he can come back once he spends it. I know it's, because now we're gonna give 55,000 and he hasn't even spent anything. He's just got 50,000 sitting there. So I'm a little skeptical, a little bit, because he asked for the committee asked for $50,000 and it hasn't been spent yet.
Well, but we have to try to gather additional investors
So why do we
So
give
the-
50,000?
so that we could show that we have some skin in the game.
But he hasn't spent it.
He can't spend it
We just
until we
approved
get,
that just now.
yeah,
This was the, like the,
we had to fix it.
we had to fix it, so he wasn't, they didn't get
He
any
didn't
of the
have it to
money.
spend. And we have to get other industry partners to partner with us.
I'm just asking about the 50 grand we gave him, and if he hasn't used
I'm
it,
just explaining that, that's all.
why would I want to give him more money?
Because
When I say him, I'm talking the committee.
Yeah, you're talking to, there's people here.
Well, I know that, that's why I'm asking. I don't get that.
we're probably not spending this 50,000 on the consultant until we know we have other people to help participate in this process. Because 50,000 isn't going to pay for the consultant
Well,
fully. You could-
My frustration part is, and maybe I'm just semantics. I mean, we gave money and it's just, it's sitting somewhere. It's in our bank.
And it's, you allowed us $1 million to spend, isn't that right? And so we said, okay, then we'll come and report to the council whenever we want to spend some of that money. So we came and asked you that we want to spend 50,000 on this program, and today we're back asking if you will allow us to spend another 5 out of that million to take advantage of this,
Opportunity.
well, I guess my confusion is, I thought he had the money, and I was just told that he doesn't have it.
no, they don't have.
That was the only thing. I was like, we gave him 50 grand and now I know that he doesn't have it.
I think we're only just giving him approval, and then if nothing happens with it, then nothing happens with it, but we
So
still.
that answers my question then. I was under the assumption that he had money, or the committee had money, and that, okay.
Well,
I'm
but
clear.
the committee has the money to do a specific purpose. Because we have to come to the council every time we find a valid reason. So we have to conserve those dollars for just that reason.
Like, I get that. I was my understanding that it had already been dispersed.
Yeah, that we've given him money.
That was my understanding. So if the city has the money, that means middle missing housing doesn't have that money and somebody else isn't paying interest on something that isn't. That's what so if the city has the money, but we've allocated it to them, to the committee when they need it, then fine, okay.
And that's why I brought it up.
Because there's 3 people on the committee.
No, that's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying, so.
I move to approve the Housing Advisory Committee to use 5,000 of the current Housing Initiative Fund to access the Moderate Income Revolving Loan Fund the state of Oregon has set up for housing.
Second, is there a second? Okay, we got a motion and a second. We kind of had discussion early. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
City Attorney Services.
So our city attorney, David Blanc, is retiring on October. Our city attorney, David Blanc, is retiring October 10th or 15th. When it's
17th.
in the letter. Anyway, and I'm coming to request that we hire Chris Crane.
Barry Elson,
Barry,
Hammond.
yes, that firm. So it's Chris Crane. We've been working with them, and I stated in that agenda bill since 2021. Is that what it is? Okay, so we've been working with Chris Crane. He's been doing our land use, but he does other stuff for us as well. So I'm requesting that we assign him as our city attorney.
All right, I move to approve City Manager Hammond to sign the amended personal services agreement for Barry Elsner and Hammond LLP for city attorney services.
I'll second that. You got a motion and second. Is there any discussion?
Any relation?
There is not.
Wanted that on the record. Thank you.
Oh, good point.
Just like the Hammond organ, I'm not related to Hammond organ.
You just actually found out where that was. No, I'm just seeing. I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Other public comment. Is there anyone else that would like to have public comment? Nobody online? Okay, moving along. We will go to reports, correspondence, and discussion. Please report.
I'll try to keep it real short. So attached, you should have the report for September in your packet, along with a secondary report that kind of talks about what the first report says. So I'll keep it shorter than that. I do want to introduce our newest officer to our team and give him an opportunity to introduce himself and tell him a little bit about himself. So Mr. Dice, would you come up and speak to the council, please?
Like being the hot seat. How are y'all doing? I'm Wayne Dice. I'm gonna first thank Chief Stoko for hiring me, trusting me obviously to come to the town of Boardman. I retired from the Nevada State Police as a sergeant. Retired out of the Las Vegas area, but I also worked for Washington State University Police Department. Go Cougs. You guys are on it. I'm from Washington State originally, come from small towns. I'm very much a small town officer and have been for 26 years. So me coming to Boardman was a great fit. I had retired for a couple of years, but I got bored. So the opportunity arose. I actually visited the town, spent about 5 days here doing some ride-alongs, talking to folks here in town, and I loved it. I kind of see what was going on here, and I saw that the town was growing. I saw what the city was doing, investing in the city, and it's not something you see in small towns. I built a lot of them, so that was kind of the appeal coming here, was what I saw was going on, and the fact that everybody gets along here. It was like a fairy tale for me. I was like, everybody gets along. So, you know, spending a lot of time with his officers and talking to them and learning about the department and what they're doing, it was very appealing to me. I bring a lot of experience. Like I said, 26 years law enforcement, retired as a sergeant, was in charge of 11 troopers, 3 districts south of Las Vegas. Worked as a detective, counterterrorism detective for their Fusion Center. If you're not familiar with the Fusion Center, it's basically a counterterrorism center. Deals with a lot of, I would say, anything to do with mass casualty type incidences or threats. That's where I worked in Las Vegas. I also was a drug detective or a K-9 officer, worked drug interdiction with the DA. So I'm bringing a lot of experience. I know that Chief Stoko was kind of excited to have all that experience. And I definitely want to come to the city of Boardman and let you know that I am going to bring a small town feel to myself. I will fit in just fine. I look forward to hopefully seeing you folks outside of the chambers and not with my lights on. But thanks for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be part of this community and hope to be here for a while. So.
Where are you from in Washington?
Grand Coulee.
Grand Coulee?
So. If you ask any questions, I will answer them.
You're welcome. Being from amongst all big deal. I spent a lot of time for TV cameras stuff, so this is easy for me.
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you, Wayne. We appreciate it. We're excited to have a senior officer with experience join our team. As you're aware, we are rather short-handed, and having that experience is going to be helpful. And we can talk about the rest later. So thank you.
Any questions for Chief?
Yes, does he have to go through the SST?
Yes, you'll have to go through what's called PCOD, Professional Career Officer Development. And it used to be at the academy, but now they do it online. So over a 6 to 9 month period, they'll take classes online. Then when he's done with that, he'll have to go to Salem where he has to, where they will proctor the state test. And he has to take the test there to pass. So shouldn't be a problem. It's just basically learning laws that are coming from one state to another. That's a little bit of a challenge based on Oregon law or lack thereof. So it definitely is surprising the different laws that are throughout the state. So.
Are you done with your report? At least?
Unless you have any questions.
Well, I thought Marta said you had a flood over there. Did I read that right in the police department?
I read the same thing.
Not a flood, but water damage.
Yeah, so we had a water heater that was in a storage closet that has been there since the building has been constructed. But unbeknownst to us, it failed and caused a lot of water damage and mold in that room. So all the equipment that was in that room was destroyed, and we had to mitigate that, get the mold out of the building, and rebuild that room. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Building department report.
Good evening, everybody. So in the packet, there is my report. It's pretty much the same as last month. I did add a summary, a one-page summary that kind of just breaks it down on a Word doc. So that's new.
I was noticing in your report that Boardman, just Boardman proper, has 72 new homes, and that the 97818 has an additional 17 homes, bringing the total to 89 new homes in Boardman 97818 area in the last 12 consecutive months.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Any questions?
Comments or questions? Thanks, Glenn.
Yep, you got it.
Public Works Department.
Testing. So you guys got my report. Any questions for me on what's going on? Obviously, lots going on outside, so. Questions on where you need to drive and where you don't need to drive and where you need to walk and where you don't need to walk.
Are they on track to still finish by, what was it, December for Main Street, correct?
When will the striping be on the new loop road on this side?
Striping's gonna happen all at once. In order to get Main Street under construction, we had to open the loop early, and now all the striping is gonna happen on Main Street and the loop road at the same time, correct? Yes.
With a concern about weather,
Absolutely.
but you know what I mean?
Can't control it, but hoping for the best and planning on the worst. So yeah, we're trying to get as far ahead of it as we can.
But what's the temperature
For
Pavement.
like 37, 46?
It depends on the mix. It depends. The benefit we have is that Granite is doing the asphalt and they have their own batch plant. So they can work around some of that stuff, yeah.
I want to go back to the loop road a little bit. There's a section of one of the corners that's very narrow for the northbound traffic, and the southbound has like 2/3 of the road available to them. And the curves and things in the dark are difficult to see, especially at the Front Street section. And I know I want a little bit of I don't know if I want like some flags or something out there to keep people from driving off the side and getting stuck or.
Yep. So the purpose of the candlesticks that were moved over was for pedestrian traffic because they didn't really have another route. We're in the process right now. And I think it's really close to done. So we have a new access for pedestrians from like the car wash around under the BPA. It'll take you to Oregon Trail, so they won't have to walk around that anymore.
Okay.
So once that's completed and we can get stuff rerouted there, we will move the candlesticks back to the edge of the road. So they were moved into the road for pedestrian safety. because that's where the pedestrians were having to walk.
Oh, was on the,
On the loop road, on the edge of Loop Road, yes. So those candlesticks will come back to the edge of the road and it will center the line where it's supposed to be.
That's once the sidewalk is built, correct?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
really.
they're
it-
building,
it-
so when the sidewalk came, the candlesticks moved in.
Or they will move in, probably tomorrow. Yep, and then we will use candlesticks on both sides of the road to be our
to mark
indicator.
it so that people don't drive over the side. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Oh, there was somebody online, sorry.
Norma asked, where can people not walk?
On the west of Main Street that used to be the sidewalk, and there's lots of people doing it. We prefer if they use the alternate route for their own safety. Because they're gonna be heavily working on the sidewalk area, not on Main Street proper now. Because they got Main Street work, and they're gonna start widening that out and going into where the sidewalk was, but they wanted to wait until we had the alternative sidewalk done.
So I would assume either we put something else stating that.
We're gonna use pedestrian signs. We're gonna have the orange temporary fence that.
Maybe something else.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just get that out as soon as I tell her what to put out. So she's waiting on me and I don't have a precise timeline yet, so should be close to tomorrow.
Sorry, can you just report real quick on the power outage?
Power outage, sure. So power outage was unforeseen. It happened quickly and I gotta tell you, the guys that work for Public Works Department are amazing in how they got that water back on as quick as they did. Generators didn't work appropriately like we would hope they would. They kicked on, but there wasn't the correct transfer because there was some breaker issues that kicked because all of the pumps were turned on. And when the power came back on, it overloaded the breaker because all the pumps were on. So it kicked off. So that's something we're going to work on with the manufacturer. The power outage was due to a substation failure. It was kind of on Olson Road that shut power off to the west, but really not to the east. So all of the conspiracy theories about Amazon kind of are defunct. But anyway, the guys just, I mean, they went through and did everything processed to the T of what they had to do to get things fired back up and running. And our SCADA system was not powered on because of the generator didn't kick on appropriately. The one that the city hall did not kick, it did start, but it failed as well. So we had to come in and clear the alarms for it to fire back up as well. So like 5 guys from Public Works who went out at 9:20 and were out until 3 in the morning, making sure everything was up and running and we got everybody water as quickly as we could. So I'm really proud of the guys. They did a great job. Any other
Would it be
questions?
appropriate to say thank you for fixing my water?
Thank your Public Works workers, yes.
I mean, when my water meter broke.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I mean, the guys are busy. I mean,
Yeah.
we're with the stuff going on with the construction, moving water lines, knowing where to shut water off. We're finding out our records were in a lot of people's heads and weren't really written down very, very well. So we are in the process of doing a lot of GIS work, marking stuff. Yep. No, we're getting the city going in the right direction for sure.
It was good.
Planning department.
Good evening again. You have my written report. Thank you for your attendance earlier at the joint work session. One thing to clarify, the consultant talked about an HPS, which is a housing production strategy. I've corrected her a couple of times. We're doing an HCA. So if you caught that, or maybe you didn't, but just to clear up the acronyms. Happy to answer any questions on the report. I do have 2 inquiries of you, and they are calendar-based. So we've already agreed to the special meeting on November 18th. And that is for the TSP public hearing in front of this body. We have an EOA that is coming to a conclusion as well. And we would like to do a joint work session with
this body and the planning commission. So we're asking for that evening if you would be open to do a workshop as well as the special meeting for the public hearing. At this point in time, we're trying to make sure the only things on the agenda that night would be those two items, just the workshop for the EOA, and that would be joint with the planning commission. And that would be at 6, and then the public hearing at 7, which you've already agreed to. So I'm just asking if we can add a workshop.
It's on the 18th.
That's on Tuesday, the 18th of November. Yes.
I'm okay with it.
You said we would start at 6.
Right. The workshop would start at 6 and the public hearing would start at 7. Mhm.
Public hearing for the.
TSP.
It would be the planning commission that's doing that, right?
The planning commission's public hearing for the TSP is next week.
So who runs the meeting on the 18th?
That's a city council meeting. That's your meeting. So the joint work session would be a city council workshop, and we'll do it joint with the planning commission.
Who's doing the public hearing? Is that the city council?
Yep, that's a city
Having a
council.
special meeting for
Yep.
that, okay.
Your special meeting is for your public hearing to consider the TSP for adoption. Yep. Yeah.
November 18th, November 18th.
I appreciate your willingness to do that, both as a special meeting and then the workshop. My second request is we also have a Parks Master Plan that is rapidly coming to conclusion. It is getting notice to DLCD later this month. We are planning its planning commission hearing in November. That planning commission hearing is on November 20th. The Parks Master Plan is a collaborative effort between the city and the park district. And so both bodies need to adopt the final park plan. And what we talked about the other night, after the conclusion of the last park PAC meeting with George and I and the consultant in the room, was to consider having a joint meeting with the city council and the park board to consider adoption. My biggest concern is having them adopt a version that's different than yours. And I'd like to make sure we adopt a single version. And so we don't have a specific date in January. I'm really just looking for your willingness and interest in holding that as a joint public hearing for both bodies. So again, I don't know where we would hold it, but in a place where we could probably get enough people on to sit around. We've got 7, they've got 5. We need to get y'all on around the same table. It would be truly a joint meeting. So Mayor Kiefer, you would be opening the city council meeting. Their chair would be opening their meeting. We could toss a coin for who wants to actually run the public hearings process. And at the conclusion, both bodies would adopt as well. So we don't have a specific date, but we're kind of looking at the 2 middle weeks of January. And what I'd like to do is just get your tacit approval that you would be comfortable with holding something joint. We'll come back with a date. And I'll work through Brandon, as you guys meet with him individually, or we can talk about it at a future city council meeting.
When you say the middle, are you talking January 5th through 9th or?
No, we're looking at the second full week in the week of the 12th and the week of the 19th. They tend to meet on Tuesdays as well.
Tuesday.
But usually the last Tuesday, you guys meet the first Tuesday. So it would be either the second or the third Tuesday is kind of what we're probably thinking.
National Cheese Lovers Day is on the 20th, and I definitely will not be here.
We can make sure we have cheese for hors d'oeuvres at that meeting.
I'm just looking for be glad to have that meeting joint. And then again, we'd be looking at just another Tuesday meeting in January. I told you like a year ago to get geared up because we're going to have to, it's going to be a lot coming. Now we're there.
So could you clarify though, Carla, I'm not sure I'm understanding why it needs to be a joint. Like when we have several items that are being done by different entities, different groups, and then they're brought here and then we vote, and sometimes we give feedback, just like the names. Why it has to be a different process. Like, I'm not fully understanding that.
It doesn't have to be a different process. Both bodies could hold their separate public hearings and adopt. My concern is they make an amendment after you've adopted, and now I have two versions of a final park plan. So I don't have a final park plan, I have two final park plans. Maybe that's okay, because maybe their change only affects their organization. But if it doesn't, then we've got two documents out there that are different. So I'm trying to find a way that the two organizations, if there's, you just get to the end together, I guess is what I'm looking for. Yes, we could hold a hearing, they could hold a hearing. And if they come up with a final document that's different, then I bring that. I mean, it's kind of like what goes on right now in Washington DC, they have a budget
So-
and the other.
But if we had a joint
Mhm.
and they went back and amended, wouldn't you still end up with two?
So the intent would be that would be the public hearing, and at the conclusion of that public hearing, both bodies, Mayor Kiefer would open the meeting, they would open the meeting, we'd hold it, there'd be deliberation. At the end, at the conclusion of that, there would be consensus on if there's any changes or not. City council would take a vote, they would take a vote, and you'd be voting on the same final document.
But yes, they could change it at any time.
Yeah, I mean,
Document that they,
once they've adopted it, they could change it, but I want to get out of the end of this process and have a parks plan. If it's designed to be a 10-year park plan, it should work for both groups for the next 10 or more years. This is our first park plan. This is their at least second park plan.
So if we had a joint meeting, would we see the plan ahead of time?
Yeah. It's draft. I mean, the draft is almost concluded. We'll be sending that off to DLCD. It looks like next week. The planning commission hearing will be in October. No, we're in October. Planning commission meeting will be in November. That it'll be on the Parks Master Plan site. It'll be available for anybody to go and look at it. And hopefully members of the community will no longer confuse the Parks Master Plan, the TSP, and the EOA. They are three separate processes. I'm kind of getting a sense it's okay to have that conversation with the Parks Board, so I'll move forward with that and we'll bring something a little more formal back. Any questions on the rest of the report?
I don't. Anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you all.
We get an answer?
That was for the upcoming EOA PAC meeting.
Huh?
And yes, you should have gotten an email invite to that meeting.
It's going to be October 28th, I think is a Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to make sure Amanda gets all of those, so she's getting them on the calendar. So that if you're following the calendar, you'll see when all those PAC meetings are happening as well, if you have an interest in any of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any committee reports? City manager.
so just to highlight and again, do a special thanks to Sam Boardman, Windy River. I know it seems a silly thing, but we have our new names for our new vac truck and the street sweeper. So the vac truck is called Big Boy. So it's going to be City of Boardman's Big Boy.
Oh dear.
And then the street sweeper is Lil Sweep, Lil Sweep. I'm currently talking with Mr. Burt at the high school, and he's hopefully going to get a high school student to design the Lil Sweep design that we will do a wrap for the sweeper. So that would be pretty cool. Trying to get, again, student participation.
So who's going to approve that look? I mean, we did the name. I mean, are you going to be the one that says that's okay?
I did the
Maybe
name.
we need a female.
Sure. I always ask. I always get input.
I used to put it in front of the city council.
Certainly can, if everyone
No,
would
we
like.
Don't.
I would like to see what it looks like.
Oh,
I mean, if you send it.
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
not with, I mean, the
Design
design.
before you do it.
I'll show you the
I mean,
design.
the name, I mean, are we gonna have a face on it or are we gonna have a picture or what? I mean,
I really am letting it up to them. So I just talked to Mr. Burt Saturday, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll send stuff out.
I would like the student invited to the city council.
And they all will. So again, I've already talked to the students involved at San Boardman, Windy River, and we will do a council picture and we'll do some stuff with, once the sign's on the equipment, but yes, it's just like informal now. As soon as we get it wrapped, then we'll do a formal presentation with you guys for sure.
gonna have a bow,
A what?
a bow.
A,
You said you're gonna wrap it. with
Like a
it.
bow, like a big red bow.
no, no.
Okay.
Just a
Moving.
wrap. It's just called a wrap. And also, so Thursday, November 13th and Friday, November 14th, City Hall will be closed to do our archiving. This really should be the last time that we would take multiple days like this. Again, the archive room has been all updated. The building department room still needs to be updated. We're doing training on the 13th, and then we just need to finalize some office archives that are in the rooms, not in the archive room, but in the actual office. So now we did that last year. PD was still open, and people just came. Doors are open. Come over there. Okay. And that's really all I got. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Hammond. Council reports. Anybody, councilors have comments?
I have a few,
Okay.
try and be brief. First, like I mentioned before, I do want to thank Public Works. We had a water issue at our house. They were very prompt, fixed the issue, because it ended up being a bigger issue than we thought. And so I do appreciate that, coming in on a Sunday, finding out that our water's leaking everywhere. And so, we didn't have water for a couple days, and it was nice that they came out and fixed that as quickly as they could. Second thing, seeing all of the construction finally come to fruition, the roads specifically or whatever is kind of nice. I've been here for a long time and always looked exactly the same. Not much has ever changed here, and so it's nice to finally see a lot of people's hard work, 30, 40 years ago, finally start to happen. And so when I have discussions with customers or whatever, and they ask, "Oh, what are you doing here? What's going on here?" or whatever, and you tell them all the details and how long it's taken and processes or whatever. There are a lot of people in town and out of town that are very interested in the things that we're doing here in Boardman, how much they like it. So I do appreciate that. And then the last things that are kind of tied together, we went to the LOC conference. That was the first time I ever went. It was interesting. The one thing I did like, which I talked to Mr. Hammond about, was making sure that we try to get Riverside students
To attend at some point.
I did like the fact that there were students there, and there were local students. I think there was some from, I believe, Hermiston, maybe Umatilla, I think were there. I saw a little blurb in the news about it. And that kind of ties with my frustration with why Riverside never sends anybody to our council meetings. Winnie Rivers always came, Sam Boardman comes, Riverside for some reason, at least in the couple of years that I've been here, have shown zero interest in showing up here. And one of the things in our meeting earlier that they talked about is getting more people involved, specifically Hispanic people in this town. And in my opinion, it starts at our schools, and they're not here. They're in elected positions, because you do have to be elected to ASB president, all that other stuff. They're not here. So are you there? Are you an ASB president because you're okay, it's a cool title and I can write it on my college application? Or are you actually learning how to govern and how the process works and you know, all that kind of stuff. And so, I'm gonna put some pressure on, school to be here. Like, you want this position, you need to be here learning, just like we have to do. If you want to be an effective leader down the road, you got to do these things that maybe eats into your time and seems pretty boring, but
You wanna be a leader, you gotta do those sort of things. Anyways.
I just wanted to say quickly, thank you to the city and, our city manager for being supportive of, letting us go to the training. And I did want to just add to something, Counselor Rockwell said, as far as the students that went from Hermiston, they are on the Youth Advisory Committee for, the city of Hermiston. And so those are the students that went, which I know that that was something that we were potentially working on doing as well.
Any other? Yes.
Two things. I see, I have a reminder that the small cities meeting is this month in Hamilton on the Wednesday. I looked it up. That's why you didn't get a notice. I think for some reason you've got to, so don't feel bad when you have to look up things like Chris, okay? Because what you do on the LLC also.
What Wednesday is that?
It's a Wednesday, it's like, oh, hey, I got my phone out. But the other thing I want to really remind you about is they're going to have a emergency preparedness training at the senior center on the 23rd. It starts at 11 and, you get a free lunch, but the gift bags are the reason you want to come. Because, no, these are for being prepared, so they're gonna give you a wind-up radio, you know, like, so you don't need electricity and lots of other things, so that you're prepared. And they would like to have 100 people come. So.
October 23rd?
No, yes, October 23rd, because we, if you know people, you know, we really need to get them there because, this is gonna be. Okay, I'm just talking about things I don't know anything about, but it's different there. And so anyway, they're supposed to be doing a really good training for particularly older people or handicapped people or, you know, so if you, we all know people that live next door to us or something that, anyway.
What time?
is that limited to just city people, or can the people that live on the outskirts that aren't in city limits?
Yes, they're having one in Hepner, and then they're having one in Boardman, and AARP, I think, is gonna pay for our lunch. And, you know.
What time?
And, but so, yeah, it's really, I think, worth your time. 11. It starts at 11, and, you know, lunch will be served like at noon, and I don't know if there's a program after that.
Do we need to register? Since it's training?
They didn't say so.
Okay.
I'm gonna know more, and anybody that has a text that I have their text number that's on my reminder, I'll be texting out something and making sure, and I'll try to get it on the.
My phone number's changed.
So that's it. And now that I have my calendar open. That small cities meeting is on the 15th. And it says from 11 to 2. In Pendleton.
Where in Pendleton?
Which because normally they are not considered part of our small city.
Where is it at in Pendleton?
City Hall Community Room.
Yeah.
Where's City Hall in Pendleton?
Oh.
It's in Old Town, if I remember.
The old high school,
And where everything else is at.
the old high school.
That means nothing to me. Maybe I'll just have to drive somebody.
Ethan probably needs a ride.
It is my turn, isn't it? Right. Go ahead, pick on Ethan.
information.
Anybody else that has council comments?
I just want to say thank you to City Works for getting the water and everything back on and staying up and doing it while everybody else is trying to sleep. So thank you very much.
Pass it on.
And some of us slept right through the whole thing.
Well, normally, water would not have been off with just having a power outage. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Because I couldn't, I was surprised how many complaints I received about that they didn't have water and couldn't flush the toilet. And I'm thinking, I just took the opportunity to go to bed, so I don't know, you know, but I thought, well, normally they come, I mean, the water stays on. So this is great practice for us when we're not in a real emergency and it's not 40 below out there. So, good job, guys.
Any other council comments?
So there were a few of us who went to LOC last week, spent a couple of days. I did like 3 tours. I had a banging wonderful time. And we attended some classes where we learned about the Merle in greater depth and about civil disagreements and a few other topics along the line. Good food, lots of connections. And every vendor I went to and told them where I was from, they go, "Oh, do you know, you have a chief of police out there. What's his name again?" And they just would really try hard to come up with Rick's name. And then I go, "You mean Rick Stocco?" "Yes, that's the guy." It was funny how many people did that. At least 6.
They were trying to sell something.
Not to me.
I'm dead broke.
Anything else?
I already said mine.
Okay, no, I'm good.
Okay, mayor comments. The City Works Department, anybody needs, regardless of when it is, you get a phone call and they'll be there. I hear it over and over and over, being somebody who has also benefited from it. They will do it for anybody who makes a call. You call Brandon Hammond and he'll get them on. That was my first thought, is call Hammond. And they're just, he gets it done, and the guys get it done. That is just, you don't hear about that. "Oh, we'll do it in the morning." Well, you know, if you got a wife, that's not good enough. So
Even if you don't
kudos
have
to
a
them.
wife.
Even if you don't have one, that is correct. My next thing is, I didn't miss not going to the LOC in the great city of Portland. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. I stayed home for security reasons. So
Clarification, not everybody said they enjoyed it.
I will tell you that LOC meetings are great.
are good. The location plays a part on how enjoyable it is, I would say, because this is the first conference I've ever heard where it's been very politicized. And that's a shame, because normally the LOC conferences are not. You might get into it with conversations with mayors or other staff, but the conference itself is straightforward. How do we make your city better? And so I'm glad some of you enjoyed that nice jaunt into that great city that you were able to spend your money on. Let's see. The other thing was that I had was, I am very impressed on how well Sam Boardman supports the city and our council and public speaking. Melissa's worked really hard. The 3rd grade teachers are working very hard, and they are very supportive of that. I'm a little disappointed with Windy River, probably because I'm not there anymore, so there's not that peer pressure, but we got to have our young adults doing this and participating in public speaking, and keep encouraging it. because I truly believe it's sad that at the high school, we have individuals who are third grade to sixth grade, getting up into high school, wanting to do this, and the opportunity is not being fostered, and that's sad. And so other than that, that's all the mayor comments I had, other than I lost a bet today. So the asphalt walkway is gone, and it was just there. So I lost a bet. We are gonna now go into executive session. We will, if you need to go, you can go. We were gonna have this executive session will not last longer than 30 minutes. 192.6602D. The purpose of this executive session is for the city council members to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. Chief Stocco, you were invited to go to that.
We have a 2-minute recess.
As soon as we get there. The public virtual Zoom meeting link will be closed during the executive session, as permissible executive session meetings are not subject to HB 2560. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session in person, as I stated, Rick Stocco and Chief Stocco. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session. The executive session, like I said, is expected to last no more than 30 minutes. And action may be planned after we resume the council meeting. So we will pause this meeting for executive session. All right, we'll resume our city council meeting. No action is going to be taken at this time. This meeting is adjourned. Well.
Yes.